Slark, he can do some work this game. The little, question mark is how his lane's going to go. Tide can be a really strong laner early on if you abuse Gush well, and he's with a Gyro 5, which traditionally, the way I think about this hero is he powers up as the lane goes on, but he's not that amazing early in terms of, what spell are you using early on, right? It's usually Missile, and if you play the lane together, sometimes you can even just kill it through right clicks, so we'll see how the lane goes, but Slark does have some good core matchups in the game outside of this Leshrac. And he has 2 other semi-carries to help him carry the game, so.
Gonna get a little bit of a stun off. A Nightmare being placed over on Grumlow. So a bit of skirmishing around this rune right now. Who comes out on top with this, though? It feels like Arkosh no longer with the element of surprise needs to be very careful.
I don't know. Crow skills Inkswell, and Dunha skills Sleep, so I'm not sure either of them wanted those spells going into the lane, but we'll see if they can make... Oh, you can almost dodge your own Gush with it, too.
The next level play right there. Dunya, though.
He's going to go down.
He is the first sacrifice to the Arkosh lineup. And Forsaken Oracle will be very happy to start off his lane with a kill underneath his belt.
Normally, I'd say you always give that to your mid, but I actually wonder if you'd rather have it go to the Slark, just because that hero is so momentum-based. And I feel like anytime you play with Slark, you want to be the biggest baddie on the map. But definitely nice for your mid. Maybe Forsaken Oracle needs the extra gold, He needs a little boost.
You gotta start off real positive like and hope it transfers over. But this is kind of funny to me seeing Grumlow on the gyrocopter. He's played this before, and I've had a conversation with him about it. He's not super confident on this hero, playing it as a 5, he's mentioned. So it'll be interesting to see, how efficient he is in being able to play, because they're calling out those big names. They talk about, Fata does this all the time, but let's be honest here. As much as we love the guy, Grumlow's no Fata.
It was a little bit of a gap, but throw some missiles out, get some levels, get to your ult, buy a Drummer Veil. The hero isn't overly complicated. The complicated parts of Dota are the stuff you don't see, So the stuff we see, he should be able to handle it. And they started off with a little mini tri-lane. Again, give Slark just a little bit of an edge. Furion's not going to get too abused on the first wave if he has a good block. So kind of an interesting way to think about it. But this creep equilibrium doesn't look too favorable for him. So traditionally, you want to secure that if you tri-lane. So I'm not sure it's going too well for them. And Gremlow's already out of resources because they committed a lot on those early engagements. And of course, Bane got the free trip back after he dodged his own Gush and then died. So he's winning the resource trade in a sense.
That and the fact that Grumlow is going to be spending a lot of time feeding the regen to his core player here. This is just... I don't know why, but I find this very comical, the way that they're both just trading back and forth and not really getting too much done. But it's nothing like, the position 5 gyrocopter with nothing but a stick, right?
Yeah, you really want to get some more value out of your spells here. Try and sync it up with your Slark. Make sure he gets some right clicks in with this missile chasing the guy. Even something that on the side, you pull your carry over, it can be a kill. This Slark can do a lot of damage as long as he gets
Crow?
the 4 to 5 right clicks in.
He needed one more hit. It's going to wind up. Oh, there it is from downtown. That's a dead Jubei.
It's that big Grimstroke Furion lane synergy we're seeing, right?
It's perfect.
Not a traditional lane setup, but Furion is a laner who he can win a lot of lanes he shouldn't if you're good at using the treants and last hitting and putting the pressure on in terms of harass, so making it work.
I did watch Crow just literally walk up to they were putting a decent amount of pressure over onto Monkey there, but Crow just walking forward and just beelining, tunnel visioning right over onto that IO. And I think that was one of the problems that we saw in the previous games where Jubei played IO, is there just wasn't someone focusing him down half the time.
Yep.
And that was a huge issue, obviously, because he was just keeping his cores alive. Just allowed Rises to have such a great game. And in this particular lineup now from Arkosh, they have a lot of solutions to get onto the back lines and remove that IO so he doesn't become the nuisance.
Yeah, both Quap and Furion can instantly get on this hero. They have both their ults can reach him from a long distance as well, so there's just some random burst damage that might come out that's hard to position against. And of course, if Slark gets rolling in this game, he gets to some Silver Edge or Shadow Blade timing, which I think he's eventually going to aim for, break the tide, set up the fight that way. Now all three of your cores can just get on top of the backline. It's pretty hard for this IO to position in the fights because he wants to be able to commit in early and buff up his Leshrac, buff up his Luna at a certain point. And that's always the thing you can look for. When that IO tethers in, punish it. He's salving up.
God, I can't say that's a lot of damage anymore without hearing Sir Action Slacks. But they cancel out the salve. We'll throw some of those treants over at Jubei. This is a rough lane right now.
Yeah, this is a lot of harass.
It's not able to really stay here despite having the IO. That's supposed to be the whole benefit of having this particular hero, was the longevity of being able to stay in lane, but they're really struggling with the way that they're chasing them. Not gonna be able to land the Stroke of Fate, but just the clicking coming through here. Crow just, again, focusing, beelining over onto Jubei. They have the Lucent Beam. They'll be able to punish Monkey. Can they get off the final hit on Jubei? Yes, they can. But they end up losing their off lane. And now Rises and Crow. Crow's not looking too healthy here. Does have a Fairy Fire. He's going to try to pop it, try to buy a little bit more time, but Rises will get himself a double kill. And I think he's very happy about that. Ooh, the middle lane, though. Not quite enough damage. Not quite yet to take out Oracle.
Well, they were in such a good position there. They both had Fairy Fires. Unfortunately, Monkey couldn't get his off, and they kind of got split around that tree line, so the right-click damage got split. But they were zoning them fully off of experience there, and I think they were in a better position in terms of resources and region, but you miss the stroke and then you get split. Cost you a double kill basically going the other way, and that could have been a huge moment in that lane.
See a bit of that combo coming to play. Shaggy was sitting a little low. Oof. And Crow will be able to claim this one in the mid lane.
It's a very nice TP in play. It's not a lot of combos in mid. You traditionally think of swelling this guy in. I think most of the time you see a play like that, it's like Earth Spirit TPing behind his tier 1 mid and rolling in on the guy and setting up for his core who doesn't have the gap close. But it's a nice way to use this for Grim in terms of just TPing, swell, blink in. You get the guaranteed follow-up stun. It's a pretty hard move to read.
Nice play here by Jubei, just tethering away from that swell. And Shaggy just continues to burn away over at Forsaken Oracle, but we'll need to find some way to lock down the Quap for maximum impact. And this is a really nice rune here. It's going to be the regen, so that's a happy Shaggy.
Yeah, really nice rune for him. Leshrac can do a lot of damage with this. Farm his way through jungles, just keep toggling. So something Forsaken Oracle wish he'd gotten, but he'll probably be happy he got the kill, and this Lesh is pretty poor, so we talk about the only counter for this Slark is this Leshrac, but if he doesn't have a good game, that just helps accelerate the Slark as well.
Yeah, not really the hero that a lot of people think of right off the bat, right, for Shaggy. It's definitely more of a spirit player.
Yeah, probably. I also think this matchup is not that easy. I think Quap probably tends to be favored in most of the early laning phase here, just in terms of that dagger crippling the Leshrac's move speed, his ability to gap close. You get outranged, massive pure damage coming out. It's pretty hard to build early effective HP on this hero. He's kind of relying on getting that stage where Io can buff him up and his Tide can frontline. So until that happens, he needs to be a little careful.
A nice setup over here on Gremlo. Shaggy's rotation will bear fruit.
I like how Gremlo's fueling up between these deaths, you know? You see him there with the caffeine intake. He's getting amped.
He is, you know, he's gotta be energized, you know, you gotta awaken, so to speak. It's
Can't do that in a TI booth, but I guess that's a long way off, you know?
Are you not allowed beverages in there? Oh, Shaggy, oh. Couple clicks here, nice side step by Oracle. They're gonna need a little bit more damage,
Gyro
though.
missile.
Here comes Gremlo. Monkey also looking for this opening.
They're gonna get him here.
Just gotta get over there first though, Monkey. All right, there it is. The trees and a couple clicks. Bit of a slow chase, but ended up working out.
Well, Forsaken Oracle had the blink screen, but I guess he's feeling merciful, you know? He'll give it to his Fury.
I'll take this one instead, you know? He's doing ya. Couple clicks here. Follow up with those rockets. Crow will get the kill this time, and Zero now parking his body in this middle lane. He is 6, he's holding on to that point. I'm feeling like he might need to skill it, though. What do you think?
Which point?
So he was holding, oh, he did skill it for the Ravage.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, ideally, this Ravage isn't going to do much if his Luna and Lesh aren't alive, because the two supports aren't doing any damage, basically. But one thing that did happen is this Luna took this top tower, the Radiant offlane tower, which is pretty rare for that tower to be the first one to go down. And it creates kind of an interesting dynamic, but we're seeing Monkey try to escape here.
I was thinking about leaving, but Dunya spots out Monkey. He's trying to get his hands on him. Monkey breaking those ankles. He is burning down, though, as he'll follow up, throw out those trees. They'll break them, but won't be able to get their hands on this wily Monkey. You know, they live in trees. They love to hang out there. And
yeah, he couldn't decide if he wanted to stay or leave, but he ends up burning a huge amount of resources off this Leshrac, which is not a hero that gets them back easily at this point in the game. But again, this top offlane tower being down, it opens up the Ancients, and it opens up ways for Dire to defend this top tower a lot easier, because it makes it harder for Radiant to go and push this top safe lane tower, which traditionally you can say, well, Furion can just do it on his own. But if his Slark is kicked out of bottom and his Slark's up here, it just means taking this top lane tower is going to be a lot harder. So it's a weird dynamic you don't see a lot, because like I said, it's pretty rare that this safe lane wins its lane hard enough, or it has a hero that can take this tower that fast or that easily. But we're seeing it here, and they're going to get this safe lane tower too. It's not the ideal situation for a Furion to be behind in tier 1s this early.
I think in some ways, though, I guess, yeah, when you have a Furion on the other team, I was going to say, you know, whenever you see a Leshrac, I feel like, you know, buildings tend to drop fairly quickly. And it's interesting, too, that, you know, Shaggy wasn't able to take that mid tower. I'd assumed that would be one of the first ones to fall. But Rises, yeah, having the space and being able to take that early tier 1, and then with the rotation down to bottom, the map starts to get a bit smaller. And this is a Luna. Luna's going to farm so incredibly fast if given the opportunity. I feel a little nervous for Arkosh here, but they're going to make a play. They jump forward from Forsaken Oracle to get a nice soul bind off, plus that silence. The hop forward, Sonic Wave comes out Forsaken Oracle, and Crow will finish off the IO.
Yeah, they're just lingering too long up here. I think this is a move they should have been able to read a little bit, just in terms of there's not many places Arkosh can go on this map right now. And when there's that many heroes off the map for that long, you're a Luna IO, you're super fast. You need to just farm your way through this a bit faster and read it a bit better. But it ends up paying off for Arkosh, because now this IO Luna needs to respawn, get out somewhere else on the map. It's unlikely they're going to go back top, though they could. We're going to see it here. They really want to defend this.
See Jubei hiding in the tree line. The rest of the side of Arkosh, 3 heroes in this top area. Would love to make a play. Of course, they don't have the soul bind this time around. They've already used it, so a little bit safer for the two of them to be up here, but
they do have a gyro ult, and I guess they're going to wait for this Quap ult and Furion ult to come up, but Black and Yellow does need to be careful about taking how much they put this Luna in situations where she's the one taking the brunt of the force.
Fiend's Grip will come out from Dunya. Shaggy should be able to burn down this Queen of Pain. So a nice way to punish this over-aggression. Maybe not over-aggression. What would you call it? Confidence? That area?
He's trying to get vision for his team, but it's a little overconfident.
The team wasn't even over there.
Eastern bottom. Big rune for Lesh.
Ooh.
And again, this top tower is still not dead. And they're pinging it, but the map is closing in for them, and Luna's just going to accelerate here because she has the IO backing her up, and this Slark does not really have a farm mechanism. In fact, both his cores are taking a lot of farm off the map too, so.
Oh, Monkey walking right into 3. Those trees are not going to save you, Prophet. But middle tower does go down. That opens the map a little bit, and the top tower also has Pale Horse clicking away, so they'll kind of fix some of that equilibrium a little bit, but.
Yeah, it's not the best way you want to have that happen, but I guess they'll take it.
Now, how do you approach, do you even try to salvage this mid tower? Because you have to watch out for this Ravage.
It's pretty difficult. Just too much HP on this Tide with an early hood, and the HP coming out from the IO with some stick charges. There's also still this haste on the Leshrac you have to keep in mind. So I think if he didn't have the haste, there's maybe a world where you can wrap, get a good link into Quap ult, but this haste rune is just really annoying because it basically makes him immortal in these fights.
They have so much information, though, thanks to those wards. So if they can get the jump here, if they can get the soul bind off, Pale Horse just, of course, going to collect some of those Essence Shift stacks, and there it is, like we talked about. They tried to go in for that soul bind. We'll slow down the Luna. They have the silence. Sonic Wave will get used. And now it's just been Zero and Pale Horse just clicking back and forth on each other.
He has an early defusal.
Yes, he does, and he is more than happy to use it. The Wrath of Nature coming in, one more hit. And Pale Horse almost completely solos the Tidehunter, which is a little concerning.
Yeah, he's pretty farmed. That mid play actually worked out for them in a weird sense. That he got this top tower for free. He got a bunch of waves off that, farmed his way back to mid, picks up his defusal, instantly puts it to use, killing a huge target in this Tidehunter, who we're saying he's pretty tanky to all this magic damage, but Slark just starts hitting him and chases him down. He needs backup to be able to deal with it. So slight overextension by Black and Yellow. They lose 2 huge cores, a lot of map control. Those defensive Radiant wards paying off. They can sometimes be hard to use, but if your towers die this early, the enemy wants to use your side of the map. Sometimes those are the best ways to get back in the game. So a lot of stuff coming together for Arkosh in that last minute or two, and swung a lot of the momentum of this game. I say now, like, play around your Slark. Keep using this defusal. Allow your Furion to get to Orchid because he needs to catch up a little bit in this game. And keep using these Quapples. I think they've gotten a core kill out of every one. So that's what you want to see. Not sure that last one was necessary, but he's padding the stats a little.
Right.
He had some rough series, so we'll let him catch up in the fantasy points.
He's got to make up for it. The Yules coming into play. They're looking to skip the split Earth off, plus the Fiend's Grip Silence, though, dropped over onto Vayne. The Ravage comes through. Only connects on several, though. Crow will back off as Rises chases in. Pale Horse, though, seeing this opening over onto Shaggy. He wants to kill, but they manage to get the stun. He's gonna have to back off. He's used the Shadow Dance. It'll be a gush of Jew base. They get a bit low here. They activate that double damage on Forsaken Oracle, but they're not able to get their hands on us. They'll lose Monkey, and they'll find Shaggy, though, on the back lines. Couple clicks over onto Zero. He's got absolutely Mona left. Dunya will fall to Gremlo, and they'll turn their attention over to Zero, who seems like he just accepts his fate.
Or Agi for this Slark, a double damage on Forsaken Oracle. They mistimed the Ravage chain because the Bane got silenced by Phantom's Embrace on the back end that they didn't see. So super unfortunate. That fight definitely goes better for them if that Quap dies in the Crypt and the Ravage. Or Agi stacks. This Slark is picking up speed in this game pretty fast.
It's that moment where you're like, ooh, if they had just gotten one stomp from that Centaur. But yeah, you can see what they open up with the call down here, and Dunya gets into position with that Fiend's Grip, but immediately the silence, it only clips 2 of them here.
Yeah, just unfortunate miscoordination, misplay. Slark goes in. He actually takes an immense amount of damage here. And this part of the fight isn't going that well for them, but at this point, Black and Yellow, the reload takes them out. They're too low on resources. Monkey does die on the back end, but anytime your Slark gets to hit people, you're pretty happy. And now he just gets to chunk away on this Tidehunter for free.
Zero just got left behind. He just stands there. He's like, all right, get it over with.
The one thing I will say is, I see this a lot. In that particular instance, Crow uses a stroke and a swell at the end of the fight there. Those little things add up. I prefer if people play a bit more disciplined. Don't waste spells at the end of the fight, because those are your resources to go into the next play, right? Mm-hmm. So you see with these really good teams, they're really good at max binning these things.
Again, you get this double soul bind there with that silence. The Sonic Wave. Nightmare comes out from Dunya, trying to buy a little bit more time here for Zero, but he is silenced. It's like they're going to back off on the side of Arkosh, though. They're feeling very aggressive, but they know that they should be a little bit more reserved.
Fast Yules for Crow. Pretty nice. Another way to disable this grip. Another way to kind of slow the fight down, kite some targets, and let his Slark pick up some steam. Anytime you can elongate the fights for Slark, as long as he's hitting people, you're going to be happy. So the name of the game is just buy space for him, help him amp up. Love to see a Solar Crest out from somebody, though it's probably only Gyro this game if he can eventually get to one. But even some like early drums or Veil is pretty nice for their team. They have a really nice way to use these early items, just because as long as you can accelerate Slark past this mid-game hurdle, he will carry the game. So this Lesh is in no position to really deal with him.
It did feel like we started to experience a shift in the game. Hold that thought, though. Monkey got that Orchid completed. He's going to try to teleport out, and he's fine, like you said. Ooh, and the tips coming out, the supportive tips. Do you have a double damage now here on Shaggy? Split Earth off, and Oracle, ooh, it's gonna bottle through, keep on running. He's gonna have that blink in a moment. They've got the Ink Spell, just turn right back around again, over onto this Leshrac, that silence, and the finishing blow from Crow.
And that is the power of the support gyro. Huge amounts of single target burst as long as he can stick on people. And we see it there. This hero's also deceptively tanky. People don't really think of Gyrocopter as a tanky hero, but he has decent stacking. He can build some of these early items. This hero tanks up and he just goes in. I mean, 1400 HP with Tranquil Boots. There's actually not a lot of supports that get you to that point, so he also has high armor because he's supposed to be a carry, right? But some of these things can pay off. It's the reason why we see this hero being played as a support. And I'm pretty sure Pale Horse already has his BKB flying out. So he's invincible in that BKB. Unless he gets gripped into Luna and Io right-clicking him, he's not dying during the duration.
I will say that the positioning has been excellent out of Arkosh this time around. We touched upon it briefly, saying how it's going to be very important that they get into the back lines, take out the IO. But also, you know, we saw a couple times where the grips do come out, and almost always Crow is in a good position to be able to immediately throw out the silence, or has, you know, the Yules, anything like that. So it's very hard for them to pin down Pale Horse, who is having a perfect game, I believe, right now. I don't think he's had a single death. Yules, all right, but now they're gonna have to run away, doing the big sonic wave. They need a couple more clicks. They get the soul buy now. Pale Horse hops forward. Monkey will get the kill, and now Shaggy's just gonna get clicked away. My goodness.
Really good identification. If you find this Bane and he's the one getting gone on, Slark has basically a free fight. So I say you take that every time.
Crow waiting patiently here, does have that Yules. Throw out the silence over onto Jubei, so he's not able to immediately re-link up, and they have the silence now from Monkey, so they're gonna punish Jubei, and they're gonna make Rises have to run for the hills.
Looking like a real team right now.
My goodness.
Where was this team a couple weeks ago? They just didn't get co-op, I guess?
I guess. I mean, they were doing a lot of Razor, and then they, you know, switched over to that DK. Grandma's gonna win you over at this rate, dude.
I'm still not at him, but he can get there eventually. I don't know what
How
the
much will it
threshold
take?
is.
What will it take?
It's a high threshold. My friends list, I protect it very well.
Understood. Someday, it'll be his dream. His dream. Shaggy, though. Immediate jump forward from Forsaken Oracle. They'll follow up with a beautiful Ravage, though, from Zero, and they might be able to get the kill. Yes, the takedown Forsaken Oracle. They'll get Pale Horse. Nice positioning coming out from Black and Yellow is now Crow, forced to run away from Shaggy, from Rises, and they're very, very fast to force forward. A Lucent Beam to slow down Crow. He's got that Inkswell on him. He's gonna turn back around, gets off the leash. That's gonna be the Soul Bind, and they're gonna just zip out of there with that teleport. Crow's just getting burnt away, though. They just last second find that kill, but top lane they'll also just divert their attention and find themselves a Monkey.
Just like that, you get team wiped, I guess.
I guess we spoke a little too soon here. He's got the missile, so Gremlo is gonna turn around. I'm not 100% sure he wins this trade. I definitely believe he does not win this trade.
And there's your team wipe. Just overextension into that Ravage from basically the fog, catches 2 cores. The Slark does get the Dispel into his BKB, but then there's the grip follow-up, and that is the one thing that we've talked about cannot happen for this Slark to have a good fight. So just a little too over-anxious, I would say, and they lose Aegis for it. And this Luna, we haven't talked about her much, but she's been highest net worth most of this game, as Lunas are great at doing, and she does deal a decent amount of damage. Her levels have been kept low a little bit because you're playing this Io Luna pair, so she's still below the Slark, for example, even after a 1-team fight and a Roshan. That is the downside of this Io tethering the Luna. You can help her farm a little faster, but you debilitate her level advantage by a decent amount. I think traditionally you rather have the Luna solo farm and be higher level, which will translate to more net worth anyway, but if you win the fights, I guess you can make up for it.
Forsaken Oracle. Feels like he wants to make some sort of a move, but definitely cannot do it alone. Of course, they do have the global presence of the Nature's Prophet, but seems content to just back off for now. Continue farming up, pushing out the top wave.
Tied one for a 4-staff, so he's not going to scale this game, but he can provide some decent utility for his Luna and his Lesh in terms of keeping them alive, helping them kite the Slark. I think his game was just a little too rough to see him go, you know, into some Ags or Shiva's build or something where he's a 3rd scaling damage core, but it's not necessary for them to win this game, so.
Pings are coming out. They know that Slark's over in the jungle area. They've got Dunya nearby, waiting with the grip if necessary. He's just got to get his hands on him, and he doesn't have an Aether Lens. So his positioning. Oh, ooh. Okay. Got a little
about
nervous
that
there.
one, but
These things happen.
they do. No grip now, though.
No
this
grip.
is a big window for Arkosh if they can set up the fight well.
Oh, nice play here. Leaping up. They have the vision over onto Pale Horse, but he does, of course, have that Shadow Dance, a Sonic Wave coming up, but they have the mech. Not going to be enough to burst them this time around.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They do manage to find Gremlow. They found themselves Crow. They'll burst him down. And they've got the call down. Pale Horse rejoining. Still going to be Gremlow who gets the final hit, but he is now going to get left behind, and they should be able to cancel out this teleport. In fact, they don't even need to cancel it. They're just going to murder him. Monkey, though, doing those monkey things that he does, is making this rotation up to the top lane. Is going to get chased away here by Rises, by Shaggy. They're going to have to find some way to get that vision. They should be able to just teleport out. They're not going to find him in time.
I mean, he does have this Ags on Nature's Prophet, so we saw it root 5 heroes there. This item is a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
Okay, elaborate.
It is a very interesting item in terms of if you're snowballing and you're accelerating on the map, it can be super annoying. You just get rooted from the global. It's great for heroes with mobility that aren't expecting it. But in this lineup, is the root really doing that much? You're locking down Luna, Tide, and Leshrac, who, you know, they don't really care. So you're getting some value on the support lockdown on the back end, but it's an expensive item. It's almost, you know, it's over 4,000 gold to just add a root and some minor damage. It's a double-edged sword. Sometimes I've seen this item pay off, but majority of the time, I think you're better off with something else. But we'll see what happens. It does help his Slark, in theory, hit people, right? If you get this massive root.
Jumping right onto the back lines immediately. They'll get the Soulbind off the BKB coming into play, and the mech was nice, but it just isn't going to be enough this time around, as it's going to be a duke between the two of these cores. Crow going to just use the Yules, try to back himself out. Does have the Ink Swell upon him. And Shaggy following up, though. They'll be able to purge it off. They go right back in. Again, the Ravage play coming out from Zero. They have that Scotty damage. Can they put out enough damage to take out Pale Horse? He's sitting very, very low. They need to make their way over to much faster as Forsaken Oracle. Poking forward here does manage to slow down Rise and gets off a couple of these clicks. This Luna's not looking too healthy right now, but it seems like Arkosh, they're going to back off. Take a breather. Boop.
I wonder why they backed off, actually, because Slark Shadowblade, he was regenning. Furion was full, he could have poured it in. They still had Quapple coming up. I think that was actually a decent time to re-engage, but
Ooh, Monkey.
just too worried about the Lesh damage.
Going for the split. You've got Jubei down here as well, and they just managed to get a nice pick off. Take an Oracle, considering going back in. Gonna be playing it a bit careful, though.
Yeah, just nice lane ward bottom. They spot monkeys there, easy setup. Not a ward you would probably think about or expect, so it's a nice setup. Radiant could just be waiting for this Silver Edge timing on Slark that I assume he's going for, but I guess he's going to go with the Shard first. Really useful Shard. It's basically a double. You get some added benefit of, I mean, you get the downside of you have to use it in a location, but you get the upside of it can help your teammates, and usually that outweighs it. It's a really nice Shard. It's not something we see a lot because we don't see Slark played a lot, but I think it's almost always bought on this hero at some point in the game. Just a matter of where in your build do you fit it in.
Seeing some interesting pickups in this game, like you said the earlier, for the Nature's Prophet, this time the Depth Shroud. What would you have liked to have seen on the Furion pick in place of the Ags?
I think you just scale. Like, you either go utility that helps your Slark in terms of Solar Crest, like the Orchid is great because you're TPing and you're stopping grips, you're going on this IO, you're stopping reloads. So all of these things can add up. I think you either go utility in that sense, like even some early pipe, and maybe you just 5-man a bit more, but if not, I think you just go the scale route. Get the Orchid into the BKB, into an Assault Kuros. That's going to help your Quap, it's going to help your Slark, and just be a huge threat on the map. Because if you BKB and you're just killing supports, you're killing this Leshrac or Tide, and you're forcing them to feel like they have to grip you instead of your Slark, that's a huge gain as well. So I feel like this Ags is kind of in the middle. You're kind of trying to help Slark, and you're trying to maintain some of your own scaling, but does it end up doing either? I'm not sure.
So possibly a little bit too much indecision. in a sense.
Yeah, maybe Monkey just
Committing.
likes Ags. It's a fun item to buy. I can't blame him. I mean, they also went double Yules. They have Yules on both their supports. So there's also some overlap there in terms of how much of this pseudo-disable do you need relative to, you know, what's your game plan and what's going to help you progress that game plan. Your game plan is Slark with 2 semi-carries hitting people. So anything that helps them do that is great. So if they see a way for that to happen, or they think these items can do that, which the Ags can certainly do in certain situations, then it makes sense to me. It's just a matter of how you feel the game is going, and it's going to pan out.
They're going to wait patiently as they throw out the Phantom's Embrace. Pale Horse trying to get over there fast enough. Not going to be able to allow for that Inkswell to connect, but will still get a kill. Ooh, must be a misclick here.
Oh, great. That's great.
Maybe not.
Oh, wonderful, isn't it? Simply delicious.
Your own guy unpaused. Yes, that is true. Looks like they're going to have a little bit of an issue with lag. They're going to reset. But yeah, you know, it's looking fairly good for Arkosh. It's still very scary when you look at the Luna's net worth. But I think also it depends on how these engagements begin. And also if the Tide does have the Ravage. We're seeing BKB timings coming out now as well. I believe that the Queen of Pain will have hers fairly shortly, if not already. So how concerned are we, like, in terms of the next fight here for Arkosh or Black and Yellow?
I think Arkosh is feeling pretty chill in this game. They just get to play the map, they get to shove it out. Black and Yellow has basically one way to set up on these cores who all have BKB now, which is this grip. You can only grip one person. Slark's going to kill your vision on the map with his innate passive and his night vision. So the map's just really hard to play for Black and Yellow. I don't think they have a single observer on the map. Although Arkosh might not either, but that's an entirely separate issue. I think it's just easier for Arkosh to choose the fights they want to take and set them up. And with triple BKB core, it's pretty much up to Luna to deal the damage in that time, or you get some crazy Ravage. And this Tide Hunter, he's far behind the other cores. He's almost getting passed by this Skirmish Stroke, who doesn't make his life any easier either, right? So with no Blink Dagger or anything like that, it's tough to take these engagements. I would say Arkosh mainly wants to fight at night, abuse the Slark night vision. I don't think you're in a rush at this point in the game. If you control the map properly and you look for the smart picks, you're going to have a triple BKB core timing coming up here. You can even take a fight during day with that. Just take it smartly, kill the supports. If you look at this net worth, the supports are super poor. They don't have survivability. They have a couple items each, but it's a mech and a Sobi mask, right? So they can die fairly fast if all your cores focus them and get on top of them. And then it's just a matter of kiting out the rest of the fight. If Slark gets to choose his targets, go in and out, they'll win the fight easily. So I think they should feel comfortable. Just, you know, plan it out. Don't throw. Don't have any bad deaths. You have all the vision. You can kind of pick and choose your battles here.
Well, they're picking a battle right now, as both teams have smoke plays. In fact, Shaggy will get jumped on first here by Pale Horse. Just have to be careful. They finish the Ags. The BKB coming out. Soulbind coming out from Crow. He gets the spell off as they get the jump over the back lines, but they have the Fiend's Grip here over on Forsaken Oracle, so he needs a bit of assistance. He's going to have to blink away. Monkey jumping onto the back line, wants to make sure that he can cancel out anything that's being tossed, but it's a bit sloppy here.
Yeah, way too many targets gone on. The Grim got found by the Luna Isle just running in the river, so their front line isn't protecting their back line. They get cut off. The Queen gets gripped. Not a great situation for her. She's out of mana. Fury on TP's in, doesn't get any kills. Just super split. And again, it's a daytime fight, right? So it's way harder for Slark. He's going on... It's an okay target for him to go on in this Slush, but it's also burning a lot of his HP to do it. So it's not like he's snowballing the fight on his own. And yeah, it looks like, you know, Forsaken Oracle, he needs to compose himself a little here.
I don't understand what's happening
He's just
right now.
losing his mind.
He is, I mean... There have been times where I've been casting with you and you look like you've been losing your mind watching these Arkosh.
I don't think I've ever paused the middle of a competitive match to have to compose myself because it was just too hilarious, though. I think that is a new one.
Have you ever been close enough, though, where you just have a moment of just like, wow?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I figured I'd ask, you know? I have the opportunity to ask you a bunch of questions while we're sitting here.
Too level-headed, too serious. I recommend the same for Forsaken Oracle here.
I don't think that's going to happen.
This is just a mockery of the Division 1 competitive scene, in my opinion. Shame on him.
Shame.
You should be a higher caliber player. I expect better of you.
What was the actual reason for the pause?
I don't think one was given. I mean, it's lag, right? He's lagging.
Sure, it's lag.
Or a little real life lag, perhaps.
Little brain lag, that happens.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that exact phrase, you know, but
I can read your mind, don't worry. You've got a cheeky smirk when you want to say something like that.
yes, I hope the people listening to me understand, you know, most of what I say is in irony or sarcasm. Though you can't see my face.
Pale Horse again, just turning back around. Oh, look at the damage though. Not sure what he was thinking.
The old post-pause kill. That is the karma you get sometimes when you pause for unnecessary reasons, I must say.
It wasn't even him who made the pause.
That's what I'm saying. You've forsaken your
baited
teammate.
by this Forsaken Oracle.
His game sense got thrown off. He didn't know what was happening. You get caught in the river.
They are losing their tower though in their base. Might want to go attend to that as Grumlow. Yeah, you know, it's fun to kill him, but you're losing a lot right now. You're losing your racks. Someone's got to get home. They cancel out the TP too. Okay, all right, they're going to send Rises back to go and defend, but look at the damage that they're able to do here.
It's a reload, though. They're coming back.
The reload, yeah, they are coming right back in again. They see this opening. They know that there's no Ravage, so Forsaken Oracle going to give the clicks off over onto Dunya. Is spying back. BKB's coming up from the side of Arkosh, but there's so much damage. Monkey just gets evaporated. As Rises and Jubei, they're searching. They want to slow down Crow. That's so much damage. Should be able to finish off that Grimstroke, and they'll get the kill on Forsaken Oracle. What in the world?
Maybe you know, shouldn't have been laughing so much and should have been thinking about the next fight. Taking a fight without your Sark, I can never recommend it. I think it's a very rare scenario where you get to do that. They were trying to abuse the split push in terms of getting a numbers advantage in that pit. Some of it looked okay, but remember, Dire can likely have buybacks for this fight. The Luna is almost never going down with 3,000 HP unless Slark gets on top of her at some point. It's just a really hard fight to take, even with some pseudo numbers advantage. I mean, this Furion cannot stand his ground in this game, right? He went for a pseudo carry, pseudo utility build. The second this Scotty hits him from the Luna, he needs to get out of there. Way too hard.
So is the best suggestion, like, for the way he should play this is just continue to split push at this rate?
Yeah, I mean, the way his items are going to pan out is really weird. I'm not sure what his exact next timing is. Like, traditionally, if you went the BKB AC route, which I guess he's going now, you'd have an AC and you'd be on your way to a Bloodthorn or a Scotty or a Satanic of your own. Then you're really ramping up. Then your ability to stand there and man fight people goes up by a huge margin. But it's going to be way too long for him to get there. So, yeah, at this point, you have to stall the game. You have to wait out this Aegis. You cannot fight it, in my opinion. And then it's a matter of if black and yellow can force the map into a state that allows them to go high ground. There's a definite real possibility here. At this point, Leshrac is caught up. Luna's pretty far ahead. If you just ball up, where's that opening for Slark? It's not going to be there that easily.
Pale Horse doing a bit of scouting. Won't walk into zero here. Doesn't really have the rest of the team necessarily in the close position. They have those Yules like we talked about. Crow waiting on the back lines here. He's doing a decent amount of damage. They've already lost Gremlow. There's a couple clicks over onto Shag. They have the BKB. They do have the Ink Swell. Can they do enough damage fast enough, though, is the question. Soulbind's going to get thrown out. They'll throw out the Silas to make sure that they cannot go and use any of these big spells. A little bit of a split over onto Forsaken Oracle. Ooh, these Lucent Beams, they hurt.
This region just loves their halberds on mid-in heroes, I must say.
I don't think you can stand toe-to-toe with this Forsaken Oracle. No.
Shaggy picked one up for this Slark. It's an okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
The Fiend's Grip, the reload coming into play. Crow, he's trying to get over there fast enough, but he's going to be able to go throughout the Inkswell. Shaggy turning his attention. We'll go right back over to this Grimstroke. They're going to be able to evaporate him. Monkey, can he TP out in time? He cannot. Disaster for Arkosh.
yeah, just way too aggressive into where this Luna is. They need to find a way to take the fights where the Luna can't get there. Find the other targets and drag the Luna over. In other words, make her waste a bunch of time getting to the fight or force the reload in, and then you got to split. You're not fighting this hero at this point, so you need a way to get a numbers advantage. Either use the Furion and Quap split push to do that, let the Slark find some Bane on his own, some Leshrac on his own, but just solid face-up engaging there. Not going to end well for you.
Monkey already deploying, knows that there are some creeps being sent into the base. Does go for the buyback. Rat play, and is going to try to finish off this last Rax. Shaggy, though, teleporting back in, so they'll lose the mid-tower, mid-Rax, on the side of Arkosh. And that was an expensive buyback. Do you think they're feeling desperate to be doing that?
Definitely, potentially.
That's such a nonsense answer.
I don't know what they're feeling, because every time I think I know what this team's feeling, I see them on the face cams, and it's the opposite of what I would be feeling. So this team's just a backwards team in terms of their emotional state, you know. I can't read them. They're beyond my comprehension. But looks like Monkey's decided he wants to go for the Hex. So once again, this hybrid build getting even more hybrid. Shaggy knows it. Shaggy's like, I'm the king of weird itemization and builds. You're on my court. You're not going to beat me on my court.
Oh, Pill Horse. All right. Fast Finger's going to make sure that he can go and dispel. This feels like a little bit of cat and mouse right now. Again, every time we're seeing Monkey, you know, try to do some split pushing, trying to find the opening.
Oh, he disassembled Kaya Sage for his own halberd. And then left the Kaya, went to Lincoln's. Quite interesting. A lot of defensive utility. I guess their plan is just stay alive and hope Slark can go in and hit people, but
I mean, it worked
not
last time.
looking that easy.
Stay alive. It's definitely feeling a bit scary, though, as, again, Monkey doing monkey things. Putting a lot of damage over on that tower. They can't push quite as fast as this Luna and the Leshrek as they get a Fiend's Grip off over onto Forsaken Oracle.
They split him up, though.
They did split them up, and that's going to mean that Zero is the target du jour. Silence all the Essence Shift stacks, all that they could get here. And now, Jubei, you're not going to be allowed to teleport out, my friend. You're just going to get clicked down, silenced, and eventually just murdered. An immediate smoke afterwards.
Yep, that is the number advantage that Arkosh needs in these fights. Force some reactions. Someone just go die. You're going to be a sacrifice, whatever. But if you get 2 kills for 1 on the back end, Slark gets stacks. Now he can pick up some momentum, right? These extra 14 intermediary stacks, they add up. It allows him to go in just a little better. And now he's up to Silver Edge, so this is the timing I was looking for. It's even harder for Tide to just stand there in front line. And Luna has no Aegis.
Okay.
Bold leap.
It's a bold move for sure. They didn't manage to like land anything though. They know that it's just so chaotic and crazy that they probably weren't expecting it. The damage over on mid tower, they'll finally take it down. But we do have some big items, right? We've got the Satanic for the Luna, so as long as she's able to hit things, gonna be fine. And the Sheep Stick though. On the Prophet.
It's a very powerful item, but they need to either sync it up on a core, so go in, hex a core while Slark's hitting them. Otherwise, because this Furion's not doing any damage of his own. Or he can use it to kind of find this Bane and try and take him out of the fight. But I worry how easy it's going to be for him to do that. In my opinion, it's better to just play around your Slark's night vision, play around who he wants to go on, and help him in doing that. Which is also why I wanted to see an AC on somebody this game, but we still don't have one. We don't have an AC, we don't have drums, we don't have any of these auras that traditionally help Slark. And these little things add up for the hero, because he's all about how many hits can you get in, and the intervals when you can get them in. And we see a Shiva's as well, so you know, that's another minus attack speed aura. Just makes it harder for him. Between these halberds, the Shivas, getting stunned by beams.
Ooh, they're even gonna go for the teleport play. They just want to get rid of Gremlo. But while this is going on, they managed to get the split off here, but this is looking very scary for Pale Horse because the damage coming out from Rises is immense.
Got the BKB. Moral victory.
I'm sure that's exactly what he's thinking right now. Because look at this, the re-engage.
He has an arcane rune, so
Just gonna give her a little tap. Make Jubei play the Wambulance.
yes, Luna's jacked. She doesn't even need boots anymore. It's just full 6 slotted almost at this point. Only that Dragon Lance to really get rid of, but the Butterfly and Satanic, Slark's not cutting through that anytime soon. He needs super long fight.
Has been killed.
That's pretty nice, though.
Radiant's
That is
bottom
pretty
tower
nice.
is under
It's an
attack.
easy 900 value here.
Radiant's
Yeah, that's a
bottom
large
tower
swing.
has fallen.
Like we said, Slark's taking away all your vision on the map. You lose the gem.
Go for another relocate here. And now you don't have to worry about Monkey going and just pushing into your base while on the bottom lane. You're already seeing Shaggy. All right, nice little slow being thrown out, plus the silence. He's going to need some assistance here. Pale Horse jumping forward. The rest of the team, though, they're back, and they've got so much damage. Look at this, even with the BKBs, they're just tanking so much. The Sonic Wave going to be able to push back a little bit. Pale Horse needs a bit of help, but they follow up with a beautiful Ravage, and they just clean up. There is no Slark for this fight. He has no buyback. And this time, Arkosh is going to call it the GG.